Our next speaker is Marcelo Worsley. He is from Stanford undergrad, Stanford grad, and he is now at the school across town, postdoctoral fellow at USC. And he was involved with Fab Lab and has been doing amazing work using sensors and everything to do the kind of automated assessment, which Yoav showed in his talk.
All right, thank you for that introduction. So today I'm not going to talk at all about sensors or learning analytics kind of stuff. Today I really want to talk about this, so making DIY and the teacher revolution. I think a lot of the stuff we've seen has really been focused on students. And so here I'm showing you guys some pictures from projects and works that I've done. So when I'm talking about the sort of emphasis on students right now, this is also reflected in the work that I've done, and that's one of the things I think I want to be able to change. But this is what you see in the lower left-hand corner. Is it all right if I step down? Is that going to throw off the camera? No? All right, great. So so if you look down here at this picture, you know, the focus is on the students, but in the back you see Stanford students who are the ones that were helping. Over here it's at Maker Faire, the pictures of the kid. And you know, you see the parent or the adult in the back with their head cut off. It's because like they're not even really in the picture. So one of the things I really want to emphasize today is that we often talk about teachers being facilitators, teachers being mentors. But let's talk about teachers being makers, teachers being the ones that are actually involved in the process of inventing and creating new things. So to motivate this, you're probably wondering, well, why? Why would we have teachers involved in the making process, in designing and inventing new things? And to sort of make this evident, I'm gonna take a throwback to something that some of you guys may have played growing up. Let's see if this thing will work. No, the image is gone. So back in 1992, there's a game that came out that was called Mario Teaches Typing. How many people played that game? Mario Teaches Typing. So, believe it or not, I lived in Silicon Valley for the past roughly 10 years. And believe it or not, I still get people coming to me with ideas that are basically the same thing as Mario Teaches Typing. Let's give these kids a little carrot, make them solve math problems so that they can play this video game. And so one of the things I want to emphasize is that just because someone can get this presentation. Just because someone can program, just because they can do digital fabrication, and just because they went to school, does not mean that they should be making technology for my kids. Maybe they can do it for your kids, but for my kids, that's not going to work. And part of the reason is that I think that a lot of people that are coming at it, they don't quite understand learning. But when you think about who understands learning, yes, there's people like us who are researchers, but there's also the teachers. The teachers are there with students day in and day out. And so one of the things I really want to do is bring them back into the picture. So I throw this number up here, 4 million. Does anybody want to guess what this 4 million is supposed to refer to? We'll play the classic classroom game of guess what I'm thinking. What does this 4 million refer to? Number of teachers in the United States. That's correct. Interestingly enough, it also refers to a rough estimate of the number of software engineers in the U.S. So you could kind of say, okay, in a theoretical world, we could have one software engineer per teacher, so then that way the teacher and the software engineer can work together and they can come up and design new and exciting things. You know, that is possible, but I really think if we can tap into these 4 million teachers who have all this expertise and really get them involved in the process of designing and inventing technology for their classrooms, I think that is something that could really change learning and really change schools. Now again, right now you're probably thinking, okay, what on earth is he talking about? What kind of stuff could teachers actually be designing and inventing? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. One of these is this thing called the gogofuge. So within biology, oftentimes what you do is you have a sample, a tissue sample or something, and you want to separate out the different elements of that tissue sample. In a traditional classroom, you can't do that. You don't have a biology lab at your disposal that you can just say, okay, go take your sample down the lab, spin it down, and we can work with that. So what one student developed a couple years ago in the Beyond Bits and Adams class, Keegan Cook, he made a $100 go-go fuge so that students could actually spin down their samples if they're in a biology class. But if there's, my guess is that there's hundreds or even thousands of ideas like this that we can develop in low-cost ways. Again, I said this is $100 to make, in low-cost ways that can tackle important problems for teachers and really expand what teachers are able to do if we can really go ahead and try to harness the collective power of these teachers, identify what are the things that they need built, and actually empower them to build those, help them work together to build those things. The other part about it, though, is around teachers designing and inventing specific tools for their classrooms. I just dropped off my daughter at kindergarten for the first day on Tuesday, and I walk around the classroom, and there's all these different boxes of different, little toys and trinkets, and my guess is that these teachers, they get this catalog, they go through and they pick out the ones that they want. They say, okay, well, maybe this one's going to work for me, maybe that one. One of the things I'd really like to empower teachers to do is to be able to say, okay, this is what my students need. I'm going to make this. Sure, there's this other person who has something that's kind of similar, but no, there's this modification that needs to be made so that this is really going to work. And so one of the things I'm really trying to highlight here is what happens when we let teachers be developers of the new kinds of tools that they're going to need inside their classrooms. And ultimately, I almost see this as a different type of individualization, of personalization for the learner, such that what the students are getting is not this sort of mass-produced product that is, again, as I said, shipped out in this catalog. It's something that the teachers themselves can tweak. They can design and build it such that it's going to work well for their students. And lastly, after teachers have made these tools, we can also help them learn some data science, some multimodal learning analytics, so they can actually study what's effective about this tool. I think that would also be an awesome add-on. But with that, I'll end. Thank you.